Tanisha, is what you sent me the resolution one? Because that's the one I have in front of me.
No, go up in your search engine and just put my name. I
I
sent you
know
something
Tanisha.
yesterday.
Oh, yesterday at six fifty
Yes,
four.
yes.
The resolution template.
No, hold on.
You're a bilingual math teacher.
Okay, recheck your email.
Come on, Tanisha, I won't forget,
So
homie.
I was like, your number, we'll connect, and then I texted her.
All right, got it now.
What happened? And
Yeah, it is. Remember when our committee was talking about they wanted to know and what was, so I had children's advocate, advocate for children, make out a list of what we will lose in our district. You see it now, a detailed list of what we lose in D10.
Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm having Paula print it out for the committee, and then I'll screen share it once we begin. Paula, I sent you something else, 5.
That's another resolution?
No, this is more for like info.
Okay.
We're giving committee members about 5 to 10 more minutes as they're making their way in from work. So we should be starting around 7:15 to 7:20.
Hey, Domingo, try resending it again because I don't have anything yet.
Okay. Hey, Fernanda, welcome to our meeting.
Hello, everyone.
Hi all. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Fernanda.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you.
All right, so we're waiting for two more members, but we're gonna start
Yeah.
We're not gonna vote on anything until the other two members come. And what we will do is, we could begin with the elected official updates. Fernanda, see, if you want to introduce yourself, what you do in your new role within the district attorney's office, that'll be great.
Course. Let me just turn on my camera. Hi, I'm the new community engagement coordinator for the Washington Heights office at the Manhattan DAs. I look forward to joining more meetings. This is my first youth and education meeting. I'm very excited to be here. If anybody has any questions or concerns, you guys can, of course, reach out to me. I'll put my contact information on the chat.
Yes, we're happy to have you.
Happy to have you, Fernanda. And Fernanda's been doing her rounds. We had a great event that happened in George Washington campus around the impact of fentanyl and also like the food pantry and all of that that was going on over there. So it was a pleasure seeing you over there, Fernanda.
Thank you so much. And I also work directly with Jocelyn Minai. I'm pretty sure you guys know her. She's the director of the Manhattan DA's office. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Fernanda? No, thank you, Fernanda. So for today, what we're gonna have is a presentation from with the high school.
Yeah, not his school.
Yeah, a new high school opening up in Sherman. I won't disclose any names. They will have a great presentation, a great thorough presentation ready for us. And yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself and the organization you represent.
Great.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, so then I can mute you. Yeah, you can mute that. All right. Everybody
Just there's another one that's on that one.
That's the one that should be, should be Happens.
Okay, we're gonna Hi, everybody. Can you hear us now? Yes, okay. Woo. I was holding my breath on that one.
It
Right.
always works out.
Yeah.
don't worry.
So sorry for those online. If you couldn't hear me, I'll just try to recap a little bit. So we're School in the Square. We are a public charter school. We started in 2016 with our middle school that's located on 120 Wadsworth at 179th Street. In 2020, we grew our Dos Amigos dual language elementary school that's on 108 Cooper Street. And we are now here presenting to share more information about our new high school. So for those that are not familiar, again, our name comes from the idea of the public square where people come together to share, discuss, and really grow as a community. So just a few different highlights about our school. For those that may not know, we do consider ourselves a small community charter school, right here in the heart of Washington Heights, where our middle school is. We do provide one-on-one tech to our students. We also have a 6-to-1 student and staff ratio. And for those that are interested, we also provide a monthly pantry to our community, right? And so our basis is really our student population and their families, but we also do collaborate with a lot of different organizations throughout Washington Heights. And then again, just to understand our population absolutely reflects that of our community. And then here are just some other stats, right? Right now, our enrollment is 642 for our two schools, our middle school and our growing elementary school. And of course, we know that students come, especially at our middle school, from lots of different schools. And we really do try to support each student. And we have seen growth, by 1 or 2 grades per year for those that may be not at grade.
What's the breakdown of student enrollment between the two schools?
Sure. So our middle school, so we have about 100 per grade. So our middle school has about 280, and our elementary school has about 350. And so just to kind of share a little bit, I don't know if you can, sorry, for those here. Sorry, Domingo, I don't know if you can see the full screen, but I can, oh, it's over there. But again, and we always try to do all of our slides in English and Spanish. So, but if anybody needs me to share any information in Spanish, please let me know. I know I'm already a couple of slides in. But just to let you know, again, how we do reflect our community. So we are, as a public charter school, families apply via lottery. And so right now you can kind of see where our demographics are compared to the district as well. And for all of our schools, there is a preference for those who do reside within Community School District 6, as well as those who already have a sibling at our school. I know sometimes there was interest in knowing a little bit more of our breakdown and what are the zip codes of our students. So this gives you a little bit more of that breakdown. So as we transition a little bit into what the high school will look like, just letting you know that for our fall opening of 2024, we would just be starting with a 9th grade of about 104 students. And then the subsequent years, you will see that we will be adding a grade. So we are at full enrollment for that 2027-2028 school year with a total population of about 416. So, where is the new high school going to be located? It is part of the new construction that is on 460 50 Broadway. between Sherman and the entrance for our high school will be on Sherman and Dugan.
When is that building expected to open or finalize?
So I don't know if anybody goes by it, but every day there are new pieces to it. And so
Oh, really?
we are expected to be open and ready for the fall of 2024.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember anything being on.
We also, just let you know, and I'll introduce them, my colleagues, but we also welcome if anybody ever wants to do a tour. We're still in hard hat construction, but welcome anybody from the community board or community partners to see. And you'll hear a little bit more, but absolutely very much interested in partnering with you.
So I'm sorry, can I just ask
Yeah.
one quick question? So how many floors would it occupy?
Absolutely. And we do have a little video that can kind of go into that a little bit more. But right now, just to answer, we will have our own entrance on Sherman. We'll have a lobby space. Then we will have part of the second floor and then all of the third floor. So kind of that funky looking gold is most of our high school. And so who will be leading our incredible high school?
I will. Hello, everyone. My name is Valeria Banarisulis. I was born in Guatemala, Central America. My mother is Guatemala. My father is from Greece. I am a hybrid, a mix. I speak both Greek, English, and Spanish. I actually grew up here in Washington Heights, 187th Street in Wattsworth. Washington Heights is in my heart, has always been in my heart, and the experiences that have accumulated have brought me back here to my roots. I graduated from Fordham University, psychology major, philosophy minor, and I actually, I actually became a teacher back in 1988. At the middle school in the Bronx as a bilingual math teacher. I fell in love with education, and more importantly, I fell in love with their students. And that is why I remained in education. I just retired a few years ago from the Department of Education. I have been the founding principal of two other schools, middle school in Harlem, Kappa 4, and my last school was a high school in the Bronx on the Roosevelt campus, Kappa International High School. And we brought in International Baccalaureate program, which is something that we are going to also be doing in our new high school. So I bring 33 plus years of experience with lots of success, mistakes that have become learning opportunities. And this is the third founding school that will hopefully be the best, where I will take all my experience and make, together with my team, a school that really is for students and will prepare them to be successful and walk away with skills that they need to be productive citizens. So thank you for being here and for allowing us to share our beautiful school with you. Take a look at this magnificent site that is being built for them.
So I'm hoping that the audio works. So
Square.
Bienvenidos a School in the Square.
Our new high school is located at 4650 Broadway, across from the entrance to Fort Tryon Park.
Nuestra nueva escuela secundaria está ubicada en el 4650 Broadway, frente a la entrada del Parque Fort Tryon.
Step into our school from Sherman Ave. Our spacious lobby signals all are welcome.
Entre a nuestra escuela desde Sherman Ave. Nuestro espacioso vestíbulo señala: todos son bienvenidos.
Located on the second floor are the cafe, music room, and workspace for central office staff.
Ubicados en el segundo piso se encuentran la cafetería, la sala de música y área de trabajo para empleados de la oficina central.
Our cafe is a collaborative space where students and adults will share ideas over a meal.
Nuestra cafetería Es un espacio colaborativo donde estudiantes y adultos compartirán ideas mientras comen.
We have the whole third floor, which includes 16 classrooms and all the other spaces necessary for a modern high school.
Tenemos todo el tercer piso, que incluye 16 aulas y todos los demás espacios necesarios para una escuela secundaria moderna.
Here is the first of 3 squares, open spaces for impromptu and scheduled conversations or work time.
Aquí está el primero de 3 cuadrados, espacios abiertos para conversaciones improvisadas y programadas o tiempo de trabajo.
Our full court regulation size gym.
Nuestro gimnasio de tamaño regularizado.
The gym transforms into a 400-person theater.
El gimnasio se transforma en un espacio de teatro para 400 personas.
Our research and media lab is outfitted with the latest technology for 21st century research.
Nuestro centro de estudio y medios de comunicación está equipado con la última tecnología para el estudio del siglo XXI.
Inside our Career Development Center, students receive one-on-one college and career counseling, arrange internships, and connect with local partners.
Dentro de nuestro centro de desarrollo profesional, los estudiantes recibirán asesoramiento universitario y profesional personalizado, variedades de programas de pasantías y conexiones con organizaciones locales.
Squares might also be a place to take a short break or a quick check of the news.
Las plazas también podrían ser un lugar para tomar un corto descanso o leer rápidamente las noticias.
Our classrooms feature high ceilings, large windows, and are brightly lit by the sun.
Nuestros salones de clase ofrecen techos altos, grandes ventanales que están brillantemente iluminados por el sol.
Join us as we embark on the next chapter. Welcome
sorry.
to School in the Square.
I don't need to see that again. So here we go. So Yojay will walk us through a little bit more about our core principles as well.
So we have here a square-ish set up to show you that these are some of our core principles we have in mind as we build out literally physically the school, as well as all the different programs. That first and foremost, we're a relationships first institution. We are building the school to say this is something we're doing for the community, for our current students who are 8th graders, but also for the greater Washington Heights and Inwood neighborhood. And we want our high school to be a place that's for a gathering, not for just for our students and our families, but the entire neighborhood. And that we're going to be providing programs that are responsive to what people need. We are going to be bringing resources that we have always been providing to our families in terms of making sure they're connected to social resources, making sure that they have assistance with basic needs. One of our flagship supports that we have for families is pantries on a biweekly basis to make sure that food insecurity is not something that gets in the way of our community. We also understand that building trust and empathy is super important for our young people and our families, and that first and foremost, we're going to keep everybody safe, physically safe, emotionally safe, and educationally safe. In terms of the actual educational program, we want to highlight that we have a real commitment to biliteracy and research. So we start our elementary school with dual language programs. Our middle school will eventually transition to help our high school students to be able to arrive at our high school ready to do really extensive advanced work in Spanish. But in the interim, we're going to have a variety of programs to make sure that our students at different levels of entry points can access the beauty of Spanish as a language, as a culture, as a backdrop to the work that we're going to do with them. We're putting emphasis on research because we know that is a key to students being able to access higher level academic learning and be competitive when they're in college and in the workplace. We're making sure there's a variety of ways for students to access college credits without a cost that will be a financial burden to them. We have lots of colleges that have already spoken with us about being partners so that students are not only taking college credits on our high school campus, they're also able to take college credits at college campuses and experience what life on college looks like. In the tour you saw, career development is a major component of our 4-year sequence for our high school students. And we create a beautiful space to say there's something that's really important that we need you to invest time and thought and feel supported in having a pathway after high school. And then finally, we have a real commitment to the arts and community and wellness. So you'll find in our programming, students are going to have access to music, theater, and visual art all 4 years. They're going to be starting their day with a community gathering place, and they're going to have access to a variety of athletic and sports activities, which if you've been seeing what our middle school has been doing, they've been doing very well in all the sports teams and making it to the playoffs in every single category. So there's just a very quick overview of some of the things I named. We want to make sure there are enrichment opportunities that in any other, right? Like you think of like a school, you think of what they offer, and we want our students to come to school knowing that they have access to everything that another child might have in a different neighborhood, in a different district. And we don't want anyone to think that they're getting a lesser access.
Yeah, and just to kind of share what we've heard from families, and especially after the pandemic, is they're less, they're much more cautious about sending their child further and further away from home for high school. And so just really wanting to add to a quality high school option for our community here in Washington Heights. And then just to let everybody know, we are accepting applications. Our lottery will take place on April 3rd. And, this is an open call for anybody who's interested, but also an opportunity for us to share with the community board and anybody else from the community. We invite collaboration, and we look forward to bringing you all in once the building is up and ready. So happy to take any questions if anyone has. And we will leave some brochures as well.
Let me see how this works.
Unmute.
Yeah,
Hi.
so you have a question from.
Hi, Tanisha.
Go ahead, Tanisha.
Hey, hello, everyone. Thank you, Chair, and thank you for this important presentation for education in our community. I have a few questions. First, I want to know, will Department of Education be paying any type of fees for this new high school?
For production. Oh, yeah.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, was the question, is the DOE providing any fees for the construction of our building? Is that the?
Yes, will they be paying any fees towards the construction, towards any rent? Will anything come out the Department of Education public education budget?
So no, so we purposely are not co-located. None of our schools are co-located in DOE buildings. We do get a reimbursement, and that is with the state. So all of our work that we would get state funding from, and then the onus is also on us. We do have private funding to help support the build out of our building.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Tanisha?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if there's other high schools around that area. I'm not too sure.
My mind. I was just looking at Google Maps. So
Yeah.
a block away, you have City College. And then the other closest one is probably like 10 blocks away, 10, 15 blocks away.
Yeah, and we can also share with City College, in case you're getting an echo. We also know that they have a long wait list too. So even the middle school students in their building aren't always guaranteed a seat in their high school.
Just looking at the map, Tanisha, you have elementary schools. So this is on Broadway and Sherman. And then the next high school would be in Academy and Broadway. Which is
Okay,
Inwood
that's
Early College
220th,
for
right?
Health.
Yeah, that's like 220th Uptown Chair.
One thing to also share is that we do expect a majority of our current eighth graders to be continuing with us to the high school. And so we absolutely will be making our open seats available in the lottery. But just to let you know that we, again, built the school as a continuation for the work that we're currently doing with our middle schoolers as well.
How many eighth graders do you currently have?
Sure. So we currently have about 106 eighth graders.
And some you expect.
Yeah,
a
I mean,
certain
some of our kids got accepted to LaGuardia and,
Yeah.
for high school. And so we absolutely want them to pursue what's in their
Right.
best interest. And then we do expect though a majority of those students to stay with us as well.
Anybody in the committee has any questions, concerns, comments? All right, go ahead.
Well, 432 max. 432, yeah.
Max, yeah. So we are starting with about 104. Yeah.
And will you be offering the international valedictorian as well? So that's the goal. That program doesn't start till the 11th grade, but that's the standard that we trying to set. Yes.
One of the things I try to make sure to be equitable to everybody that comes is just also acknowledging what's around that particular area, because one of the biggest concerns that we're looking to challenge is the oversaturations of schools and staggering schools in particular areas when we have such a big community. So you do have City College, which is one of the schools that is actually one of the most requested high schools in the area. And then you have 4 blocks away, you have early college, which is a co-located high school. So I personally don't see the oversaturation, but something to take into consideration as you expand is also to understand that this is a big community, and buildings shouldn't be kept. We shouldn't keep building schools over schools to compete against the same pool. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to take into consideration. But it looks great. Now that third floor is going to be able to accommodate 400 something students by 2020.
Classrooms in that floor.
Yeah.
Do they have classrooms?
Yes, well, we also have the placitas. So if you look at the if you look at the building, it feels like the university. And
Yeah.
The classrooms are big. I know that when I was the principal at the DOE, we literally had a corridor.
Yeah.
And we had 432. So this is going to be the ratio per child per foot square is going to be more than enough. And yes.
Yeah, because it's a pretty big building, and the way they're building it is, there's a building 191st, is it? Right next to the tunnel, which actually just went bankrupt. They didn't even finish building.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't have any further questions. This is not the first time you've come, just for transparency, this is not the first time they've come presented. They were actually interested in the radio tower, and then some things fell apart and they found another location, which I believe is a bit more convenient. One thing I like about that location particularly is the fact that you have speed cameras and red light cameras literally right across the street from you. So when it comes to like cars speeding down there, that's like one of the areas that everybody slows down. So that is a great place, a great location for something like this, and something for other folks to consider, like canvas the community and see what, particularly with high school kids that have this, they'll start playing around, run across the street, and the next thing you know, something horrible happens. Like that's a very good. There's even a little island before they even cross the street on the other direction. So I don't have any more questions. Tanisha, go ahead.
Yeah, so real quick. So I know that there's a Bronx Theater High School too, a little further up. It's on.
Tanisha, we couldn't hear you.
But my concern is for the kids. Like a lot of times when we hear these ideas, like we want to make sure that all the kids are included. And a lot of times, in my experience, I'm speaking for Black people, Black children, because that is my job to do that here. A lot of times they don't feel comfortable in, schools because they feel like they're alienated. So I would like to hear a little bit more about what you do to make sure that all of the kids know that they are included. I'm not familiar with your work, but I will do my research, but I would like to hear a little bit about that. Because as a Black mother, from your presentation, I wouldn't be like overexcited to send my Black son there. Does that make sense? Like I'm here to ask the hard questions.
This is Penny. Can you tell me why would you not feel comfortable? What was it that you heard that didn't necessarily make you feel comfortable?
And Tanisha, you're on mute. Sorry if we can't hear you.
Oh, I said, it's just little things. Like I know, like language is language, but the Spanish word for Black might be offensive to Black people. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's kind of offensive to us. Like we don't, Negro, Negra in any type of language, like is offensive to us. So I just want to make sure that y'all are considering things like that, in the community. Because these things go on with our children a lot. So I always want to, advocate for inclusive spaces that are going to cater to all of our children and all of their needs.
Absolutely, Tanisha. First of all, thank you so much for pushing that question and being transparent and asking it. So one of the things that we didn't get to discuss is our focus, our lens as we're developing the program is to ensure that we partner up with Facing History. And two things that we want our students to be able to walk away with is the Civic Readiness Seal. That is going to help our children not only find their voice, but also study what it means to be equitable, to have this equity that exists, because we know that as the world progresses, it's getting more, there's less equity around. So we want to develop that voice in our children so that they could be agents of change, so that they can be those civic-minded, responsible individuals that provide that inclusivity. And the only way we're going to do that is by modeling it ourselves. So as we look to hire, as we look to develop our program, we're looking to partner up with organizations that are going to not just talk about equity, but are going to model those programs that help not just the students, the parents and the community broaden that perspective. Because at the end of the day, if our students are going to be successful, they have to be able to be open-minded and work with everyone in an inclusive environment. That's not what we have out there right now, and especially with social media and what's going on in the world, it gets less and less, and the kids become more alienated. So our job as a school is to make sure that we sharpen those skills so that we broaden those topics, so that we talk about implicit bias, so that we talk about, so what does it mean to be fair, so that we look at our curriculum and we look at the curriculum that we're teaching and the authors that we are introducing to our children to make sure that it's not Eurocentric. That's what we're doing right now. And we welcome our parents to be part of that discussion, you know, so that they too can be partners in this educational bridge that we're forging.
And Tanisha, maybe just to also add, and for the board to also know, and community, we do have open positions right now for our high school. And so please, we do welcome folks, you know, to apply, to let us know opportunities. And again, any opportunity that we have to collaborate with folks, we definitely are interested in hearing and building those bridges. We did have, you might have met some of our students at the People's Assembly last month. They were super active in those spaces. And again, we are constantly looking for opportunities for them to kind of bridge and connect with additional members of the community as well.
Great. I appreciate it. I just, you know, it has to be said. A lot of times we don't say the things that we need to say, and, you know, our kids suffer because those type of behaviors continue. And, you know, we just had a very ugly incident last year. I don't know if y'all remember, with a little boy on 181st Street train station. So, you know, it's very important to me that I lift up these things, you know, and ask the hard questions. So I appreciate y'all, you know, being uncomfortable so we can be comfortable, if that makes sense.
And we welcome that as well.
Yeah.
There's no more questions. So thank y'all. And we look forward. Tanisha, they're doing school tours. So if you ever want to check it out, anybody in the committee wants to check it out, feel more than free. I'll share Cynthia's email so everybody can reach out to her and get a school tour and go into a deeper dive. With that being said,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Cynthia. It's always a pleasure. And look forward to seeing what you all built. All right, so the next item, we were going to talk about committee business. So it's looking like we're going to have the assistant chair role open. Anybody interested, just hit me up and let's see what we could do and talk about it. But leadership in the board is extremely important. Participating is extremely important, but also contributing to into what the agenda is. Go ahead, Tanisha.
Chair, why is it? I thought we had a chair, assistant chair. What happened?
Maita, I don't know. She's been MIA, and from what I gather, she hasn't reapplied either. So her term is officially going to be up, I believe, with like next month. Is it March? May, yeah, the beginning of May. So we're gonna have to. I don't know. I've texted her several times, and she hasn't responded. It's been several months now. Do you know Maita?
Yes, but I haven't heard from her either. So
yeah, I texted her. The last conversation I had was in November, and she was having some stomach pains. And after that, I have never spoken to her again. She hasn't responded or anything. So, just
well, we hope she's okay.
Yeah, trust me. I've sent a bunch of texts. I tried calling and no response. So at this particular moment, we were gonna go dive into having a conversation on presenting a resolution. Unfortunately, at this particular moment, we're 2 people short of quorum, which wouldn't necessarily allow us to vote on anything. What we could do is table this resolution to next month. Tanisha, what's the budget timeline like? By when should this budget be approved? Isn't it like May or June?
I'm coming. Okay, so the budget is supposed to be, the state budget is supposed to be approved by April 1st, but it's always late. And the city budget is supposed to be approved by July 1st. It's always late too. But the
Okay,
state budget is later than the city budget. Like they usually like get it around, get it together in July. But we always know, and we already know. Like today, I was in Albany, and today the one house budget for the assembly is coming out. Abdul,
okay. So
yeah,
you,
the
do
one
you
budget for the
feel like we
Senate
have
is
a month?
coming out. So no, I don't feel like we have enough. I feel like we're going to be behind.
Okay.
Can we bring it up at the executive?
Yeah, we could bring it up at the, is there any edits? Like the only edits I would add to this is just changing the name from CEC to Community Board 12. We could do Community Board 12 and just change that language. That's the only edit I had for it.
And I would say to add the children advocates, children for advocates, because I know last month it was an issue of where's the information found, right? And all of that can be found on the Advocates for Children website.
So you want to add like a clause, give me a second, like a whereas.
Yeah, whereas, yeah, we will lose, yeah, or like whereas we'll lose such and such a many social workers.
Because you know, with these folks, it's all about where the data came from. So we'll just be like, whereas the data accumulated for this resolution was identified from, and we put the website.
Yep, that's great. Sounds great.
Now, is there any way that we can incorporate, is there any way that we can incorporate this in here, or it's already here? Because I feel like this is more general, but this is specific to our district.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can do that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Because I feel like it only,
when
when we're presenting this, they're gonna be like, okay, cool, this is great overall, but like, why is it important to us particularly?
Okay.
So I recommend, I'm happy to also put in some of this data that's in here.
We do like an overall.
Yeah, and then we can do some of these that are specifically for Community Board 12. I'm happy to add it even from this right here.
Okay.
I think that's amazing. That's what I was saying. Whereas, we'll lose such and such amount of social workers, right? Whereas we'll lose such and such amount for money, like make it personal to us. I approve of that.
Yeah, because what we could do is like, you see how whereas NYC has used this funding not only to address temporary pandemic, we could just, I don't know if it's gonna be too big of a because I feel like this is citywide numbers, but we could focus it on more board specific. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So all we would have to do is replace the numbers from A, B, C to these, and that's it.
Yeah, I can help do that.
All right.
Yeah.
You have the resolution?
No, but I would
let me
just need
forward
it,
it
but I
to you.
do have this one sheeter, so we can use some of that data and add it in there.
Let me send it to you.
Because I definitely think we need to show everyone why it matters to us. They're like,
Yeah.
but it actually does affect, and I'm not sure, can we actually show this? Can we pull this up so we can, just for the meeting purposes, so that we can show to those who are online how this actually affects CB 12?
Okay.
Are we able to share that?
That's why I wanted Domingo to have it for the meeting.
Yeah, we have it printed out.
We have it printed out, but I would
I'll
love
send it to
to email it to me. I would love to just share it right now. Just so that people can actually see it, for those of you who are not attending here.
All right, so
Maybe just give me one moment, I'll just pull it up, because I think that would be helpful. Did I press send?
I just want to send you the resolution.
Okay, I got it. Wonderful.
Carmen Paulino 16.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, everyone, so I just pretty much wanted to share, we were discussing the resolution that we wanted to pass. We discussed this at length at our previous meeting. where we found out all this funding may be going away very soon. Tanisha, worked with Domingo to essentially, figure out how we can adapt this draft resolution for our board to make sure that we're passing this on and bring awareness to our, community board. So the draft resolution does have data, but a lot of the data is mostly citywide. And we have got this wonderful one pager that we have printouts up in the office, but for those of you who are online, you can see it here. This is specifically how it would affect actually our district. So for example, like Tanisha was mentioning earlier, there would be about 16 social workers that could potentially be cut, some bilingual programming at 3 schools, some restorative justice programming at 8 schools, 2 3-to-K integrated classes, a shelter-based coordinator, which is like super important, especially in our district, and just like funding for like special education programs in at least 1 preschool. So as you can see, very, very crucial to our district. So we hope to input some of this data into the resolution so that everyone else is like aware.
Yeah, so the resolution is basically asking for the elected officials to identify monies to be able to supplement some of these programmings instead of completely doing away with it. As we all could recall, the presenter did a great job basically saying, hey, look, this money did have a timestamp. It was like, hey, this money will end on this date. And a lot of expansions happened. Community schools expanded to almost every school in the DOE, if not every school in the DOE. Social emotional learning was also expanded. Mental health programming was also expanded. So it would be a complete disaster if we don't identify where we could be able to maintain a lot of these programs, because they are showing progress. 3PK is essential to working families, but not only to working families, but to the fact that by the time your kid is in kindergarten, they're able to read effectively, have heard over 1 million words, you know what I'm saying, which is extremely important to their educational process. But besides that,
I wanted to mention one more thing.
Yeah.
For those of you who missed last month's meeting, there was a really wonderful presentation. Additionally, in the presentation, there was a website where you can go to and you can see how you can get involved. That could look like just signing petitions that they have on the website.
Mhm.
So I would encourage everyone to just look at the previous meeting. It's on YouTube. You just type CB12. And just, you can go to the website. Tanisha, I see that you have your hand raised, but also I can probably put in the website here for you just to like do some research, check online, and definitely like peruse yourself. But see how you as an individual can also get involved.
Mhm. Go ahead, Tanisha.
Absolutely. It's absolutely important for the parents to get involved. I think a lot of times parents don't know the power that they have because of all of the things, just trying to keep it together for their kids and their households. And I will also say, I just glanced at the resolution, but do we have that in the resolution? I would just suggest that we say that we want city and state funding. We want both of them to come together and fund these programs.
Tanisha, I'll make a note of that.
Hold up. The city and state should have made these investments all long before the pandemic. Okay, yeah. So therefore the urges elected leaders and the state and city level to identify. Yeah, Tanisha, it states it. It urges elected leaders at the state and city levels to identify funding for these programs so that students can continue to receive critical support and services and avoid a massive setback to public education.
Fantastic.
Right? So it's there. I think the only modification that it needs, and Carmen raises a valid point, is just making it district specific. But what we could do is, if anybody asks us questions, we could add like an appendix to it and be like, this is the impact throughout the entire system, not just the community. And I think that should do it.
I also just wanted to take a quick second to just give a shout out to my colleague on the board, Tanisha and Domingo. Both of you have been doing really great work specifically around this and getting the people to come. And I know working on the resolution outside of this. And it's so important. No, seriously, this affects so many people. And our district definitely just, we cannot lose any funding.
Yeah.
Like, we just can't afford to do so. I was born and raised in Washington Heights. I went to school, elementary school, Washington Heights, middle school, Washington Heights, and it's always been under-resourced. So like for you both to just really work on this and bring it up here, and really great work. So shout out to you, Tanisha and Domingo.
Yeah, one thing I would though like for us to focus on is really like figuring out how to develop 3-month plans. You know what I'm saying? Because while it was great, and we got to be extremely appreciative of like Tanisha's recommendation and all of that, we also have to take into consideration, we can't keep reacting. We know every single year there's going to be a budget cut to education. Every single year, social services are going to be impacted. You know, I was reading an article where the city claims that it's broke, and then independent auditors found over $2.7 billion in surplus. You know what I'm saying? So I really do think that, like, I would love to figure out who these auditors were and truly invite them, because we know they're not going to say that they're lying, right? They're going to use oh, this is the information presented to me and scapegoat somebody else. But something we do have to do is always maintain a group of partnerships that sees through the BS. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be extremely important. Like, Tanisha, do you know? Yeah, let's bring in somebody from the comptroller's office, because I think they were the ones that
Yes, sir. Yes. They're the perfect ones to bring in, Domingo, because Brad.
Can't hear you, Tanisha.
Oh.
There we go. Hear you.
I don't know what's going on. So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know we have.
You're cutting in and out, Tanisha.
I don't know what's going on. I'm in the cab.
Okay. Yeah, you're
both of them.
Yeah, you're cutting out, Tanisha. You hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you're cutting. Literally, you're coming. You'll say I hear you, and then when you start talking, it just goes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, I'm doing 1,000 things. So what I'm saying is, we have a state controller and we have a city comptroller. Our city controller name is Brad Lander. We have a relationship with him. We can definitely get someone to come on here and give us a presentation. I was just with him the other day testifying for the finance committee in the city, and he was explaining about the contracts and a lot of ways that the city waste money. And he was saying that the answer should never be to take money from school programs, from education. They have to have no plan about smaller class sizes. So my suggestion, Chair, is that we reach out to Brad Lander's office and let them come do a presentation for us.
Yeah, because my biggest thing, Tanisha, is for us to we know that from January to June, we should be focusing on the budget. Like, that should be a no-brainer. Now we got to figure out what to do from September to December. You know what I'm saying? Because like that, I usually feel that what happens in the board is very heat of the moment-ish. And sometimes when you become too reactionary, what happens is you forget what's really at stake, and that everything is more interconnected than just identifying a topic that you're passionate about and just running with it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think that what it was is that I had just came on, right? Because we've been working, my organization is part of the Emergency Education Coalition to save COVID-19 funds. And, there's a lot of advocates who have been working with the chair of Education in our city council, our chair, the great Rita Joseph, Councilwoman Rita Joseph, who just got another term. So I think now that I'm in, like, I'm going to be hitting you every month, chair. Like, I'm going to have somebody who can come see us every month. So I'm just waiting for new business.
Yeah. So I think like we could focus January to June just solely on the budget and really developing some strategic, like, not only ask, but what the advocates are already demanding, you know what I'm saying, and being able to support some of it, because the work is already being done, you know what I'm saying. It's not necessarily about reinventing the wheel just to give an egomaniac a 15 seconds of fame, you know what I'm saying. So I think that's going to be extremely important moving forward. And I'm just thinking about whoever becomes chair next year, right? Like, yeah, being able to theme it, like, you take sometimes like, for me, I take this position as like there was nothing here. You know what I'm saying? And we got to figure it out. And I think we got to do it. We got to try to do away with that. Like, when a chair comes in, it's like, hey, look, these are the important cycles. This is what's happening. And this is what it is. As opposed to always having to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes somebody new comes in. And that's just my opinion, to the, like, my recommendation to the committee. Something to think about. With that being said, I will push for this resolution to adopt it. Well, you know what? Carmen is gonna come and come to the executive committee.
Here we go.
And present to pass this resolution. Right, Tanisha? We need new voices in there.
Yes, right. But I'll come support
Well,
for the
Tanisha's an
executive.
But when you tell her, Tanisha, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Yeah, so y'all two could present and let's get this done, because I think this is extremely important. With that being said, we would need one more for quorum.
We don't have, Lewis was on his way. I can check in with him.
Yeah, if we get one more, we could pass this resolution with the friendly amendments, which was make it district specific.
He said I'm on the train right now on my way. That was at 7:42.
Yeah.
Is there any other thing on the agenda that we can
Nope.
move on to while he gets here? Oh, no.
This resolution was the most important thing today.
Can I say something?
Mhm.
I got new business.
All right, we're not there yet. We're not there. Somebody has a question, Tanisha. Give me a
I
second.
actually want to make a statement. I sat on the board 20 years ago. And I sat here now for 15 minutes. I am so glad to see young, fresh blood working on the issues that have, that impact Washington Heights. When I
Yeah.
sat on the board, we were all old people. I was the only young one. And, you're fighting all the time. But to see you guys, my heart is being moved. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
I love that. That was
Yeah,
very
thank you.
encouraging.
Aw, thank you. We appreciate it. That's one of the reasons why I came on the board, though, because of what she said.
Yeah, facts.
And thank you for taking it.
You're welcome.
Have a great evening.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
All right, Tanisha. So, new business. What we doing?
New business. So yes. So as Chair was saying about lining up, people to come and talk to us about important issues. So you know that I'm also on the Housing and Human Services and we was talking about maybe doing a joint meeting with youth and education around childcare. What y'all think?
And you gonna chair that meeting?
Oh boy,
Yes.
Here we go.
You see?
So
Yo, we gotta do this, Tanisha.
Just do it.
But I'm the connect to all the good organizations. Y'all got me working too hard out here. But I will definitely.
Great chair too.
You right.
I'm not gonna be the chair that's gonna be here for 15 years. Trust me. Y'all got another year in me. And
I'm not going nowhere.
Anywhere.
I just got here. I got work to do. But yes, I think it's important because it affects both committees, right? Like Are
you gonna chair it?
Yes, it's
Perfect.
important.
That's it. We got it. When do you want to do it?
You should do
Lord
that.
Jesus. I'm gonna talk to AQE and see if we can get them on the schedule for next month.
So you want to do the joint meeting next month?
Yes.
Okay, cool. On their date or our date?
Probably, I don't know. Let me hit up Chair Ali and see what she said. But
Okay,
I know that it's something that we both wanted to do.
Okay, cool. Or another date. I just need to know so I can add it to the calendar because during the exec they asked for the following month calendar. So, if by the executive meeting we could know, so we could add that to the calendar.
Okay, I'll figure it out because we got other stuff too. There's a lot of stuff.
All right, cool. So housing, joint meeting, chair.
Would it be best, well, I think April is good, but I'm wondering for the people who attend our meeting to maybe give them more notice like that, or does that really matter? I mean, people will be on the lookout. Those who attend already, they
Yeah,
have access, they're like circulated on our,
listen.
on the list of, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, this would be a really great meeting for a lot of people to attend, so giving more time. I would have proposed May, but if they're really on our
Well,
list, then I think
work
that's
with
good.
Tanisha on that. That's her project. Either
No
way.
need to wait when we could get it done
Yeah.
tomorrow. I don't see it.
One thing we will do, Tanisha,
Yeah.
though, is I'll contact Brad Landers people tomorrow. You contact them too, so we can hit them from multiple ends.
Yes, sir, Chair. And I'll also contact AQE and see, what date is good for them as well to come present about childcare and why we need funding for childcare.
All right, cool, perfect. All right, anything else for new business?
No, I messaged, our other committee member. He saw when he can answer, so
We'll
I
get
just
it
figured-
passed through. We don't have quorum, but does anybody here oppose
Well, we-
the
let's
current
see.
resolution? We got
So-
5 with Jandel, because
Yeah.
no, doesn't count.
Oh,
'cause
because he's not excused.
Yeah.
Jandel, are you gonna come to our meetings in person at some point?
Yeah, he hit me up. He's in the
Okay.
event and he was gonna get out of there late.
Wonderful. That'd be really nice to have you in person.
Yeah, I'm trying, but so far, every single time that we have a meeting, because usually I have these events on Monday, but the mandatory portion stopped today, so afterwards I'm able to go. So next month, yeah.
Jandiel's a person in like a popular person and is engaged, homie. What else? You gotta tell him what else you want from me, man. I'm here. So with that being said, so next month we'll get the comptroller's office to provide us a report on funding and money. And then we'll also look forward to the joint meeting with housing to talk about childcare. Besides that, is there anything else we're missing here? I appreciate you all. We don't have to vote today. We're one short. So next time, please, we could have passed this resolution in the committee level.
Do
Let's,
you have any other reports? I've seen that, Normie is on from CNC or
Oh,
is there any other?
let me see.
cities that-
let's talk to Noemi. Noemi, how you doing? Noemi had a great, with the CEC, they had a great legislative breakfast, which,
Oh yeah, I was at that. It was so fun.
yeah. I woke up going like a headache out of this world. Noemi, how's it going? You could speak. Anything from the CEC that y'all working on? Noemi's probably in the CEC meeting right now.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so legislation breakfast was great. I also said a couple of words, for our youth and education committee.
Okay. Thank God. I was like,
Oh, she can't speak.
I was there.
yeah, I got a headache that day, Tanisha, out of this world. I felt like my head was gonna pop. But
Don't worry, I held you down. I held it down.
I appreciate you all. Tanisha, we'll talk offline. Oh, she's okay to speak now. Okay, Noemi, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Actually, this is Caroline Jose from the CUC. I'm sorry. I hit the button 2 times and I hit no instead of yes for the mic.
Yeah,
I'm just coming on just to represent for CUC on behalf of the whole council. And Noemi, thank you for the opportunity once again. I'm trying to get more routine in listening in on your meetings so that I can identify with the rest of the community as a whole. And so
yeah,
thank you so much for the work you guys put in. It's really important that people come in and, you know, partake in all the types of different aspects that the community deals with as a whole. So thank you again. Yes, the legislative breakfast, it occurred in the George Washington campus. As Tanisha was saying, it was very, very electric, to be honest, because I think it was a larger capacity of people than the year before. So that was a huge accomplishment for all schools to be representing at least majority of the schools. We have parent coordinators there. We have principals there. We had a few PTA presidents in the house. We had obviously some students. Definitely was very, very shocking in a good way to see students speak up on what they feel is important that the legislators needed to definitely hear and understand. The entire panel was made up of superintendents, senators. We had a few council members, and I would throw names, but right now my head is spinning a little bit, so I'm trying to make sure that I just capture the responsibilities as across the board. And so obviously the impacts of the budget cuts was at the forefront, you know. Usually, you know, they'll be up and in and out, you know, give their testimonial and what they plan on doing. But this particular session was definitely a little more like, no, you're gonna kind of listen in on what exactly is going down on the ground with the rest of the community. So very, you know, positive energy, but definitely, you know, very serious themes going on, right? We even had one student who, you know, was expressing the impact of having gone through 3 types of different schools, charter, private, and public, and why can't the education align across the board, you know, as far as what their curriculums are, or even the lesson planning in general. So we thought that that was a very great question to have put out there. And unfortunately, we did not get the response that the young lady was looking for. But either way, that's what the point is to kind of give a full, you know, organic view of what's happening. Because right now, Washington Heights, as you guys just laid out in the budget cuts, we're about to get hit, you know?
yeah,
And these 3K programs, for example, me being a mother of a child who's in kindergarten now, but for the beauty of having her in 3K and 4K, which was like a godsend for me, you know, I know the value in having that early childhood already laid out there. And so for that to be removed, you know, we have a lot of parents right now who that is particularly why they chose our community, right? Like that is why they're even staying to deal with whatever rent situation, because they know that their kid is going to actually get this kind of, you know, offer or this kind of availability to them in their neighborhood. So it's a little bit, you know, not even a little bit, it's actually very demeaning to me that it's something that is even considered on the board to be removed as far as budget. But I can't speak for all my colleagues, but I can say definitely, you know, we're working really hard to always, you know, bring accountability to every single stakeholder in the community. As soon as we meet them or as soon as we discuss them, we're bringing up the questions, because at this level, you know, there are other areas in this entire 5 boroughs that may not be dealing with the exact same things we are. And so, you know, it's very important that they hear that there's actual individuals who are not only concerned, but they're actually doing the work, just like CB12, just like CECs, just like any other organization of people that are from the community, really speaking out on this. And with that said, I definitely wanted to bring about, and I'm not sure if it was already said because I kind of tuned in a little late, there will be a Chancellor's Town Hall happening on March 26th, which is a Tuesday. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. at PS8, the Luis Villard School.
that's our general meeting.
Yes. However, if there's a possibility that one person can represent it, there will be amazing, because
I know
I think that,
Tanisha,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know Tanisha's gonna be in there.
Yes, and Noemi, of course, you know, I know my girl's gonna be there. But I'm saying this because I feel like it may not have been the first time ever, but for Chancellor Banks, it's in a different height because last year it was at PS 153 and there was such a low count of parents around. It was very politics, very, very driven from the legislative side of things versus like the people from the community, right? And I'm hoping that we do get a huge count of people that are working this way because it will show the impacts of what's going on and how concerned we are. And if somehow CB Talk could be represented there, I know that would speak volumes. So just putting it out there that that's happening. And so, of course, we're continuously working towards class size matters with them to, make sure that we get the actual proposals put in place because currently we are still dealing with some schools that unfortunately are over capacity and they're not meeting, the requirement. And we're dealing with the influx of constant, movement between public safety with, our security guards only being, or not even security guards, our officers only being one at every school with like 400, 500 kids. So lots of topics surrounding our school systems and working really hard to just make sure that we are showing that we are all very, very well aware and that, we're not okay with it. So thank you so much again for your time. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat and I'm happy to put the answer up there if I can. Thank you so much.
Betsy.
Hey, boo. So, did y'all pass this Reso 2, the COVID-19 funded programs?
Well, what we could do, Tanisha, is because now we actually have quorum. So I'm actually going to start from the beginning so we could approve the agenda. Once we pass this, we could send them what we pass.
Yeah. Yes, because we want our CECs to pass the Reso 2.
Yeah. You heard Caroline? Is she there?
Sorry, I'm here. I'm hitting the mute button like over and over. I did hear that. And yes, thank you for that support for sure.
Yeah. So we'll send it over. We'll send you over the draft that we're gonna send to the actual general meeting.
Oh, that's perfect. Yes. I was just taking a look. I was like screenshotting, but the actual document will be amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
send it out. So now we have quorum. Can I get the agenda? Today we made some modifications. The community connection was School in the Square presenting in their Sherman and Broadway High School, which is going to begin in the fall. And as far as committee business, just to bring everybody up to par, we were talking about the importance of planning in threes. So like from January, well, that's actually 4, from January to June, and then from September to December. So like that we avoid the reaction. And Tanisha is going to be hosting a joint meeting that she'll be chairing with the Housing Services Committee, the Housing Human Services. So Youth and Education, Housing and Human Services. Those are the modifications that happened. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda? Okay. A motion, second, motion, second. So, Carmen, motion, Louis seconded, any oppositions? Any abstentions? Okay, that's unanimous. Hey, what's up, Tanisha?
Aye, yes. Definitely.
Okay. So that passed unanimously. Now we have if anybody has any questions.
Is the meeting called to order now?
No, we just passed the agenda now.
Okay.
So what we did was,
Still called to order.
yeah. So the meeting was still called to order at 7:15. We just approved the agenda further down once we had quorum. Now we have a draft resolution that we seek to pass at the committee level. So everybody here, Hector, have you seen the resolution or not yet?
Not yet.
All right, cool.
Put it on, should I share it?
Yeah, let's share the resolution. So the resolution is basically based on last month's conversation around the beginning of September, the expiration of the COVID-19 funds that were provided to the to the DOE during the pandemic is coming to an end now in September, which is going to impact a lot of programs in our community. So one of the sheets, the sheet that Carmen shared earlier, is specific to our district. Now, this resolution is broad. So the recommendation that Carmen had was, let's make it specific to District 6. Tanisha shared the District 6 specific information. So all that's going to change is from A to K, we're making it all information specific to this district. And we're removing, as far as wherever it states CEC, which is the Community Educational Council, we're replacing it with Community Board 12. All right, so those are the modifications. Can you go to the next page?
Yeah.
Those are the modifications that are.
Can you just ask Hector and John Diaz if they saw, if they.
Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Or, okay.
Jandiel, you saw it?
No.
All right. So, but you heard what I said though, as far as like what information is going to go from A to K?
Yes.
All right.
Can you
So,
repeat it?
all right. So this resolution, we're modifying based on Carmen's recommendation to be District 6 specific. So the information from A to K is citywide, right? So we're going to remove that information. We're going to make that into an appendix just in case people are interested in citywide information. But in that area, we're just keeping it to District 6, which is a fact sheet that Carmen shared earlier, basically highlighting what's going to be changed, like how is it impacting our district specifically. Yes, Tanisha?
Oh, I ain't got nothing to say. I just didn't put my hand down from the other.
Oh, okay. All right. So the second page now is a lot of the whereases, which in the where there's support programs. The city state should have these investments long before the pandemic, et cetera, right? Just basically we could add more whereases if folks want, but I think the be it resolved it makes complete sense, right? Which is we're removing CEC. If you want, Caroline, I could send you this draft, or Tanisha could send it to you. But we're going to be replacing Community Educational Council with Community Board 12, urges elected leaders at the state and city levels, or elected officials at the state and city levels to identify funding for these programs so that students can continue to receive critical support.
Because I think I would like the council, inclusive of the president, obviously, to be able to review this and make sure that we're all in agreement. But that would be excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Tanisha, if you have Caroline's email, just send it over to her, the one you sent me, this one. And so we're voting with certain friendly amendments, which nobody opposed, which is Community Educational Council to Community Board 12 urges, and adding the District 6 specific information. That's it. All right. Any questions, Hector or Jandiel?
No, mine.
No.
I agree with all of it.
All right. Jandiel, you good?
Yeah.
Any questions? All right. So anybody want a motion for?
Motion.
All right. So Louis puts the motion.
Second.
Tanisha seconds. For the motion with the friendly amendments. Anybody oppose? Abstentions? Conflicts? All right, so it passes unanimous. So lo que están aquí, everybody voted for it. And yeah, so that's what? 2 resolutions in 3 months. Ooh. Tanisha got us working over here, man. Like, all right, cool. All right, T. So anything else before we move on?
No, I'm just really proud of us. That that we're getting to things like this and that we're having broader conversations about education because as we know, our district is always hit hard by what we don't have. So the information is very important, and I just thank the whole committee for working so hard for our community.
Yo, and you know what?
Tanisha, I meant to put that to you, but I sent it to everyone in the chat, but there's my email as well.
All right, yeah, so, resolution passed. Is there anything else? The new business was, Louis, the joint meeting next month. Okay. So we're gonna, Tanisha's chairing that meeting, so we're gonna know, by when you think, Tanisha, we'll know like dates? By weekend?
Yep, by weekend. Shouldn't
Alright,
be a
so-
problem by weekend.
Yeah, so just wait on the weekend so she could communicate with the humans and what is it? Human and Social Services, Housing and Social Services Committee Chair, and we'll figure out a date. With that being said, I don't think we have anything else on the agenda. All right, there's no motions, nobody wants to go home? Motion. No
Motion
second?
to adjourn.
But don't close the chat yet. Don't turn it off. I'm still getting email.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, all right. Any abstentions? Anybody votes against the motion to adjourn? Thank you very mucho. I will see in the executive meetings as we will present this resolution presented by our own truly Carmen Paulino. All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Domingo.
Thank you.
Okay, what am I supposed to be sending? I'm sending the resolution or just the District 10 thing?